The history of the Egyptian civilization involves amazing feats of engineering, advancements in art and writing, power struggles, controversy, and ferocious wars with its neighbors. Ancient Egypt has always been a land of mysteries, which have captured the imaginations of laypeople and scholars alike across the ages. Mystery characterizes its origins, religion, and its monumental feats of architecture, such as its palaces, temples, and pyramids. To date, the pyramids continue to be the most fascinating ancient monuments of all time. In fact, the Egyptian pyramids are the only surviving wonder of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. However, you will soon learn that the Egyptian pyramids are just the tip of the iceberg. Join us in this Liber-Tea episode as we travel back in time to ancient Egypt and discover how life was in this intriguing civilization. Where did the founders of this civilization and their remarkable culture originate? The origin of Egypt does not begin with its massive monuments. It begins thousands of years before their construction in a place called Kurta. Initially, the people who first settled here were nomads. Archaeologists have been able to establish this through the discovery of pictograms that were left behind by Kurta's prehistoric artists. In one of the pictograms, it is clear that Kurta was not the desert we know today. It was fertile savanna grassland. The landscape of Egypt evolved radically under the most dramatic circumstances. According to scientists, 10,000 years ago, gravity tilted the Earth off its axis by roughly half a degree, causing a profound change in the global climate. As climate change occurred across the globe, Egypt would change dramatically. As the climate changed, the rain that irrigated Egypt's lush savanna began to dry up. The declining levels of rainfall forced both humans and animals to move toward large water bodies that formed during the rainy season. Nabta Playa is one of the places where Egypt's nomadic pastoralists first began to form permanent settlements. These settlements, over millennia, would develop to be an empire that reigned for over 3,000 years. From circa 3000 BC to 30 BC, the Egyptian Empire was the most powerful and most influential in the North African region. The empire had close ties with other parts of the world through trade, cuisine, religion, ideas, and people. There are instances where the empire lorded over territories outside Egypt's modern-day borders. For instance, it controlled territories in what is now Palestine, Israel, Lebanon, Sudan, and Syria. There are also instances when Egypt was occupied by other ancient powers, including the Nubians, the Greeks, the Persians, and the Romans, who occupied the empire at different points. The New Kingdom period set the stage for the emergence of the Egyptian Empire. This is the period when the empire attained its height in international prestige, military might, and economic dominance. The New Kingdom emerges from the Second Intermediate Period, where the nation was divided among the Nubians, who ruled from Thebes and controlled Upper Egypt, and the Hyksos, who ruled the northern region of Lower Egypt. In circa 1544 BC, the Theban king Ahmose I drove out the Hyksos and subdued the Nubians. By defeating the Hyksos and the Nubians, Ahmose was able to unite the kingdom under a single ruler. Additionally, he established Thebes as the capital of the kingdom. To ensure the territorial integrity of his kingdom was secured, Ahmose created buffer states around Egypt's borders to curtail enemies from establishing a presence in his kingdom, as the Hyksos had. Additionally, Ahmose unveiled a policy of conquest, which his successors used to propagate Egypt's regional dominance. While Ahmose vilified the Hyksos, they enhanced Egyptian culture tremendously. For example, before their arrival, the Egyptians were oblivious of the horse and horse-drawn chariots. They fought using single-arched bows and swords, which were not highly reliable. The Hyksos introduced the khopesh, a curved bronze sword, which was more reliable than the swords the Egyptians used. The war chariot was a formidable weapon, which was manned by archers who had a large, stronger bow and a quiver of arrows attached to its side. This chariot enabled Egyptian forces to wade through enemy formations as archers unleash a barrage of arrows toward them. Ancient Egypt reached its zenith during the Middle Kingdom, which started in circa 2040 BCE and reigned until circa 1782 BCE. Every ruler who came after Amosa I continued to expand the kingdom. During the reign of Thutmose I, he expanded Egyptian territory to Syria and the Levant. Thutmose also quelled rebellions in Nubia, which was highly prized by the Egyptians for its gold. Little is known about Thutmose's successor, Thutmose II. This is mainly because the reign of Queen Hatshepsut overshadowed his reign. Hatshepsut is undoubtedly one of Egypt's most celebrated rulers. She is also one of the empire's most successful female pharaohs. Hatshepsut broke the traditional patriarchal, monarchical system without causing rebellion within her court or among her subjects. She went ahead and established an administration that enhanced Egypt's financial and cultural prestige tremendously. Unlike her male counterparts, during her reign, Egypt did not engage in extensive military campaigns. Hatshepsut's successor, Thutmose III, was an equally accomplished monarch, credited for being an efficient ruler and a brilliant military commander. The glory of the Egyptian empire began to decline during the 20th dynasty. During the 19th dynasty, Pharaoh Ramesses II and Pharaoh Merneptah, his successor, successfully defeated the Sea Peoples, who constantly invaded the empire. The Sea Peoples were a coalition of warlike tribes credited for annihilating and weakening several kingdoms during this period. During the reign of Ramesses III in the 20th dynasty, the Sea Peoples began to invade Egypt again, and while he was able to subdue them, the victory was Pyrrhic. Apart from this, the cult of Amun, which had always been a problem to the monarchy, was gaining more power. The high priest of the cult of Amun was increasingly becoming a threat to the pharaoh, as he was regarded with more esteem. The economic woes of the empire were displayed during the workers' strike of 1195 BCE, which also happens to be the first recorded workers' strike in the world. Ramses III was the last effective sovereign of the Egyptian empire. After his administration, the empire entered into the Ramessid period, whereby it steadily declined until the death of Ramesses VI, when it collapsed completely. Thank you for listening to this episode. Like, share, and subscribe to Liber-Tea for more. Also, feel free to leave your comments and tell us what other empire you would like us to discuss.